Hi, you're tuned in to Once a Falcon. This is the place where we celebrate the people of UT Permian Basin, alumni, faculty, staff, and even industry leaders who are pushing boundaries, lifting up communities, and proving what it means to be a Falcon.
How's it going, everybody? George Payan, Director of Alumni Relations and Annual Giving here at UT Permian Basin, bringing you, again, Once a Falcon. And today I am joined by a phenomenal alumna, Crystale Castillo. Crystale, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good, George. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Good.
Well, let's just kick things off. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You graduated, hometown, all the fun stuff.
Okay. Well, as you shared, my name is Crystale. I grew up in Fort Stockton, so that's my hometown.
Not too far.
Not too far from here. Midland, Odessa always feels like a second home to me. I graduated in 2003 with my degree in mass communication, and again in 2005 with my master's in educational leadership.
There we go. And so what originally drew you to UT Permian Basin?
It was close to home. It wasn't too far. It was definitely a bigger city than what Fort Stockton was. So it was that step up, but it wasn't so overwhelming that I was going to get lost.
There you go. So you just wanted to stay close to home, stay close to the family.
Yes, yes.
Well, that's awesome. Conveniency, I love that. And so currently you do a lot of work for the community. And so can you tell us a little bit about all the things that you're involved in and just what drives you to continue wanting to be involved?
Of course. So right now I am in my 6th year on the board of directors for United Way of Odessa. I am the past president, and I'm also the president-elect for Harmony Home Children's Advocacy Center. I also serve on the Harmony Home Capital Campaign leadership team and building committee. We're raising funds for a new building.
Oh, that's right.
And I am a sustaining member of the Junior League of Odessa, and I'm a very proud room mom for my daughter's 8th grade class this year at St. Anne's School.
There you go. So just for our viewers, can you explain what it is that Harmony Homes actually does?
Yes. So basically our role at Harmony Home is to heal the hurt of child abuse. Whenever a child has been in an abusive situation, neglect, it's physical, sexual abuse, the child comes to Harmony Home to a safe place to share their story one time of what has happened to them. That story is recorded in a forensic interview by one of our staff members, but their hand is held throughout the entire process by a family advocate. And so it's not such a scary environment for them when they're having to share something that has happened to them that is probably the worst thing that will ever happen in their life.
Right.
From that point on becomes the healing.
Yes.
And so then they are provided therapy, not just the child who had the incident happen to them, but also the family members, the siblings, and the non-offending caregiver.
That's awesome. And then you mentioned that you're part of the capital campaign to raise funds for a new building.
Yes.
And so what does that new building entail for these children that have these incidents?
Yes, so we're very excited. We've actually raised 10 of the 11 million of our goal.
That's phenomenal.
So we're very excited that we get to start moving forward with the architect, start moving forward on planning the actual building itself. So this new building is going to have wraparound services. Right now, our staff is split up between 2 buildings because there's just not enough room in our current building. And we're going to have everyone together. Not just that, when a child has experienced sexual abuse and has to have a sexual assault nurse's exam, they have to go to the emergency room at Medical Center Hospital. And while Medical Center does a phenomenal job once the child is in there, I know none of us like going to the emergency room. It's just no matter where you go.
It's a little nerve-wracking.
It's nerve-wracking, and especially to be in that situation. And so this new building will have an exam room for the child, so they don't have to leave Harmony Home. Everything gets completed within the new building. And so they'll do their interview, they will have their exam, and then of course once the time comes, therapy will also be in that same building.
And that is just phenomenal how we're going to just bring everything together to be able to help and support these children.
Yes, absolutely. And our directors are amazing. I can't say that enough. They all know their areas so well. And so they've been integral in sharing, okay, this is what needs to be here. This is what should go here, just to be a smooth transition for the child coming through.
That is amazing.
Yes.
And we thank you for your work.
Oh, absolutely.
And so, but currently you actually work for JSA Architects.
I do.
And so you work in the marketing department. Tell us a little bit about how UTPB has helped play a role in preparing you for that type of position.
Oh, it's been my foundation. From my publishing class that I took here to my marketing 101. Of course, things evolve, things change.
Right.
There's a lot more technology than there was back in my day. But you know, you just got to keep learning and growing with it.
That's right. You got to keep evolving.
Yes, but no matter what, I have that solid foundation from when I was at UTPB to now, you know, be in the workplace and keep building and learning in my role.
And can you tell us a little bit about JSA Architects?
Oh, of course. So we are an architecture firm, full service, specializing in municipal buildings, so like the buildings in the city, education. So we're doing work here at UTPB as well as Odessa College, your hospitals like Medical Center, Midland Memorial, but not just here in Odessa. We also have offices in Lubbock, in Kerrville, in the Woodlands, and so basically expanding out throughout Texas.
Nice. That's amazing that you guys are. I didn't even know that you guys had multiple offices elsewhere.
Yes.
I figured it was just kind of a centralized location here in Odessa, Midland, Odessa area.
And that's how it started 40 years ago. We're actually celebrating our 40-year anniversary this year.
That's amazing.
Yes, and so it's just expanded over time.
We
yes.
love to see things like that where it's just kind of homegrown, but then it expands out to further reaches.
Absolutely.
And so that's phenomenal. And so currently over your years of experience, what are some of the challenges that you came across that's kind of just prepared you for what you're doing today?
You know, I think, and you know, kind of trying to put in perspective with our current students and those going through UTPB right now, a lot in my early career was that kind of self-doubt. You know, I'm just coming out of college, I'm just in college, this is my first job, can I do this? Can I handle that? And I think even now at my age with the experience I have, like the answer is always yes, like yes you can, like just do it. You may be nervous, a little, you know, anxious, but the learning, the growth that comes out of just overcoming that self-doubt is just, it's a great experience. And you always come over that hill saying, I'm so glad I did this, you know. And
yeah,
so
I feel like the majority of people just going into the workforce for the first time always have that little bit of self-doubt.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it's normal. It's something that everyone goes through, where especially they're in a new environment, they're in a new role, and it's a bunch of new things coming at them. It's a brand new environment, and so trying to just absorb everything that you can and working through the issues. And I mean, just making sure you understand this, like not every issue is going to be something that's very, very bad, but it's something that you can work through and overcome over time.
Oh, absolutely. You know, one fun story I love to share is my first internship here at UTPB was actually at News West 9. I thought I was just going to be writing for them, like writing the stories for the reporters, but there was one day they had reporters out sick and the rest of them were already out on assignment, and they needed someone to go out with a photographer to get the story. So the assistant news director said, hey intern, can you go do this? Never done it before in my life, and I was like, of course I can. So we also need a Spanish soundbite, and my Spanish, a little choppy. He's like, can you do that? I said, absolutely. And in my head I'm thinking, I'm gonna figure this out, like I'm gonna make this happen, but inside I was also freaking out because I'd never done it before. So, you know, in the news van with the photographer, I just said, listen, I've never done this before, you know, but I'm gonna make this happen. And he was wonderful to help get me through it as well. So
that's amazing. Well, and I mean, that's just one of the ways of just learning, and I feel like in this area that's kind of standard. It's just kind of getting thrown into things, and it's like you learn as you go. And I feel like, I mean, for me especially, it's like I learn best by doing the work, by getting out there, by getting that exposure and everything like that. But because it's a little hard to kind of take what you learned in a textbook, reading it, and then applying it.
Exactly.
Versus actually just jumping right in and learning as you go along.
Exactly. One definitely complements the other.
That's definitely right.
Yes.
And so, I mean, there's certain situations, of course, where you have to read to learn.
Of course.
But I feel like learning best, especially for like in my sake, is just getting thrown in there.
Exactly.
And learning. Hopefully you float, or hopefully you know how to swim.
Exactly. Like sink or swim for sure.
There you go. And so, I mean, that kind of maybe ties into the next question is, what piece of advice would you give to your younger self that could translate to our current students or alumni or prospect students that are looking at coming to the university?
Always get a mentor early on,
Okay.
because I feel like when I first started college, it was, just thinking, okay, I got to figure this out. I got to do this. This is the field I want to go into. I'm going to make it happen, but
Right.
I'll figure it out along the way. I really wish I had gotten more mentors early on to say, I'm not quite at the internship level yet, but can I talk to you, assistant news director at Channel 9, so you can
Right.
tell me more about this, and is it the field I want to go into, and tell me the reality behind it. And obviously I had questions back then, and I of course would still now, but just to share, these are my questions, and to have that experience guiding you along the way is so important. So for any student now, that would be my best piece of advice for sure.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that, just because when I came into the university, I originally was supposed to be I was supposed to be studying for music education.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I played music all my life, and so then came into the university. I was like, you know what? I want to teach music. So I sat down actually with a faculty member, Dan Keast. He's still here.
Yes.
Phenomenal professor. And he kind of walked me through what it was going to take to get me to graduate with that degree. And after seeing the courses, seeing everything that was going to take, I finally realized, it took me a little bit to realize that it's like, this isn't what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Right.
And so that quickly turned me into switching my degree plan into computer science, specializing in information systems.
Yeah.
And so I was just, because it took me a while to figure out, I was like, well, I really love messing with technology. Like, I just love playing around with it, figuring new features out. And it really took a turn, and exactly what you mentioned. I got a mentor within the IT department, Dr. Y, and he kind of just walked me through a lot of the stuff, and it really started to excite me more than it did when I sat with Dr. Keys. And it was just because I found a lot of interest in it. And it really helped push me through and realize, it's like, this is kind of more where I want to be.
Exactly, yes.
And then took a 180 turn, and now I work as the alumni director.
I love it.
And so, do you remember any of your mentors back whenever you were starting?
I do. So I had a couple, and so one of them I still get to see in the community quite a bit. So first was my advisor, Dr. Lee McGavin. He's not here at UTPB anymore, but he was the department head over mass communications at the time, and helped guide me, answer questions, and lead me through. One of my professors that I always talk about her is Dr. Suzanne Rathbun.
Yeah, she's still here.
So she's still here?
She is still here.
Okay, I was thinking she retired.
No.
But I do see her out in the community all the time.
Oh, she's everywhere.
Yes.
And I mean, I am surprised on how much she gets around. Because she's still around. She still takes the stairs every single day.
That's admirable. Cause
I'm just like, I cannot.
I can't either. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, for those of you that were online or haven't taken the stairs at UTPB, I mean, that itself is
a trek.
It is.
Yes.
I was like, I remember first day of college, didn't know anything about the stairs. Went through orientation, and they warned me about the stairs.
Yes.
Was running late for class, and I ran up, and I was on the 4th floor.
Oh no.
Good gosh, I was tired.
Yes.
I was sweating, I was just, I ran into the classroom, and the professor's like, "Did you take the stairs?" And I was like, "I did. How can you tell?" I was like, you just know.
You just know, yes, exactly.
And I tell everybody, even if you're an athlete, if you're well-trained or anything, it's like, it doesn't matter. You will still be huffing and puffing at the top of those stairs.
Yes, it is very challenging. I agree completely.
And so just know there's like Suzanne Rathbun, she takes the stairs every single day, and it's phenomenal. We love to see it.
That is so admirable, yes. And I love her. I think the world of her. Math was not my favorite subject. It still isn't. I'm having to re-go through, middle school math with our girls now. But I thought, oh, you know what? Instead of these math classes, I can also take statistics, which that is not the easiest route to go either. I'm just going to share that. But Dr. Rathbun, just the way she talked to you, the way she explained things, and now there were still some chapters I had to go through and read twice and re-highlight, but she was just phenomenal in explaining everything, and that ended up being one of my favorite classes.
Yeah.
I loved it, even though it was so challenging. She made it a good challenging.
And it's funny that you bring up statistics, because I had the same issue. It's like I struggled through math, especially in college, and got to statistics.
Yes.
And I think it's just phenomenal professors that just make the difference.
Exactly.
And so his name was Joe Stafford, and he was a phenomenal professor. To this day, I'm pretty good at statistics. Any other math I struggle with, but when it comes to statistics, I got that honed down.
Yes, exactly. It's something.
Yeah,
Yes.
and like I said, I think it's just the professors.
Agreed.
They make the difference, their teaching styles, their just the way that they care for their students.
Yes.
And I feel like UT Permian Basin's got that honed down.
Yes.
Just because we make it feel more like a family environment where
Yes.
you're open to asking questions and asking for help.
Yes.
And just in general, it's a memorable moment.
Yes, always. I agree.
And
Yes.
so, as an alumna of UT Permian Basin, why do you believe it's important to continue to stay involved and connected with your alma mater?
Well, more than anything, is to just keep the current students, those students who are thinking about coming to college, like I want to keep sharing my amazing experience, but I also want to keep learning what UTPB is doing. I know that just talking to you, talking to Megan in Career Services, Jackie Gore, I'm always hearing just all these new and different things, and even sharing about, how important it is to have a mentor.
Right.
Visiting with Megan, she's sharing, there's this great program now where they can connect you. So even if you don't know, well, who do I go talk to? Well, there's a place to go in Career Services to make that happen. And so I want to keep learning what's happening so I can keep sharing with everyone. No, you can do this. Like, even if you're kind of unsure if you want to go back to college or you want to go at all, go, because there's all these resources to help you get through.
And I think that's phenomenal work. And we actually had Megan on earlier this season.
Oh, nice.
So talking a little bit about what Career Services does, and
Yes.
bringing that into the fold. Yeah, that mentorship is huge. And I mean,
Yes.
like I mentioned in that episode, is that I feel like the Falcon Alumni Network it's more than just a membership, it's a movement.
Yes.
It helps create opportunities for not only for other alumni, but for our current students.
Yeah.
We have a lot of alumni in the community that help create opportunities for our current students,
Yes.
whether it's through internships or actually hiring them post-graduation.
Yes.
And so the phenomenal thing about our students, and I love to say this so much, is that a lot of these students are walking out of here already employed
Yes.
before they even cross the stage.
Yes. Well, even my experience volunteering in the community, we've had UTPB interns come through United Way of Odessa who ended up staying to work there. It is the same situation at Harmony Home. Those coming in to do counseling, they'll start with their internship, and we've had numerous interns stay to be hired on full-time.
Oh, I know that we're
Yes.
really pushing on homegrown so that they
Yes.
stay in the area,
Yes.
and that's what we love to hear. And so that's technically all the time that we have, but we like to do this little segment at the very end,
Yes.
rapid fire. Pretty much we just ask you some questions
Okay.
where our listeners can get to know our interviewee.
Great.
And so first question, did you have a pre-test ritual whenever you were in college?
Yes.
Okay.
Oreos.
Oreos.
But not just any Oreos. They had to be double stuffed Oreos.
Of course, have to be double stuffed.
They have to be double stuffed. So I would just sit there and, first half of my study session would be 3 Oreos and then take a break. Second half, here come my other 3. And so it had to be. And even now when I'm preparing for stuff, even like whenever I was like, okay, gonna get ready, kind of going through my head of how the interview was gonna be, gotta have that Oreo. Yes. But it is the fall season, so it has to be the Halloween double stuffed Oreo.
So it's seasonal.
It's seasonal.
It changes.
Yes.
Okay, I
it
got
changes.
you. But that's funny how just a pre-test ritual that you created for yourself here has just kind of continued on with you throughout your life.
Throughout adulthood, yes.
Yeah, that's phenomenal to hear. All right, so favorite travel snack?
Which is the complete opposite of my, test ritual.
Right.
I love salt lime peanuts.
Salt lime peanuts.
Yes, they come in a little green bag that you can buy at any convenience store. Grab my little salt lime peanuts and my sparkling water, and I'm in the car. I'm ready to go.
There you go.
Yes.
And so does that last you the entire trip, or is that just maybe the first 5 minutes after you leave the convenience store?
It depends on how long the trip is, but I usually take 2 bags. Just
Always
to be
got to be
safe.
prepared. That's
Yes,
right.
yes.
That's awesome. So favorite home cooked meal, whether you cook it or it's
Yes.
something that your parents cooked for you or anybody else?
So it's something that I make. I love to make a fresh pot of beans.
Oof.
I love, especially in the winters, and it's not super cool yet, but it's cooling down, and so
Right.
that's my excuse to put on a fresh pot of beans.
Ooh.
Yes.
You're making me hungry.
I know.
And so, as you mentioned, as we're getting into the winter stuff, what's your favorite winter activity?
When I can, I like to read.
Read in the winter.
Read in the winter because
Okay.
it's an indoor activity, and you know, when we're home, even when we're traveling and can, you know, be somewhere cozy, I like to pick up a good true crime book. And
True crime.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now we know which ones you're into.
Yes, definitely the true crime or any kind of murder mystery.
There we
Definitely
go.
love those kind of books.
And do you have like a goal for yourself at the end of the year? How many books you want to read, or is it just kind of as you go
No,
along?
It's just as I go along. You know, the days are pretty busy, and then with the girls, you know, our girls, we stay busy. So it's just whenever I can pick up a book, especially in the winter, I like to do that.
Nice. And do you have a favorite author with those books, or?
Right, well, it kind of evolves. So right
Okay.
now, I'm going through the Freedom McFadden
Okay.
books, and that was introduced to me by one of my very close friends.
Okay.
And so I'm kind of going through her books right now.
Well, there you
yes,
go.
Yes.
And so I know you've mentioned a couple people here at UTPB, but out of all of them, or if there's somebody else, who is someone at UTPB who really just inspired you?
That's Dr. Rathbun.
Dr.
For
Rathbun.
sure, yes.
Kind of figured.
How approachable she is, how wonderful she was with me and talking me through what I needed to learn that was challenging for me. That truly inspired me to make sure I was always that way with people around me.
And that's great to hear. We love to hear
Yes.
that she's made an impact in your life.
Yes.
And I mean, all the other alums that we have on here, we ask them the same question and try to see who's impacted them while they were here, and just hearing
Yes.
that they have that memorable moment with someone here at UTPB.
Absolutely.
We love to hear that. And if you were to describe UTPB in one word, what would that word be?
I would definitely choose the word remarkable.
Remarkable.
And not just because of the quality of education, but just UTPB is always investing not only in the students, but in the community. And you can't beat that.
That's phenomenal.
Yes.
Well, that's all the time that we have today. Once again, this is Once a Falcon. If you're looking at getting involved with the Falcon Alumni Network, please reach out to us at alumni@utpb.edu, or just visit us on the UTPB main website. We love to hear from you, and hope you have a blessed day.